Hey YouTube, welcome back to Dwayne's World. So is your lawn growing like crazy in these higher temperatures? Well, I got the solution for you. You better stay tuned. All right, so welcome back to season 2, episode 19 here on Dwayne's World. So, is your lawn growing out of control? What can you do about it? Well, one of the things you can do is you can mow every day. That would absolutely help it. However, you can also look at maybe changing your height of cut, raising it up. But sometimes you don't like the way that looks. Well, what options do you have then? Well, we all know we're going to continue to feed our lawn, continue to water our lawn, and continue to mow our lawn. But the more we do those things, the more our lawn is going to continue to grow. And as the heat continues to go up, the rate in which the Bermuda grows will go up. So it was something I started using about last June or July. And what it was plant growth regulator. Now, prior to using any plant growth regulator, I was probably mowing every other day, even to maintain a 3/4 inch height of cut. So when I started using the plant growth regulator, I was able to get it to where I was probably mowing once every 3 days, maybe even once every 4 days, you know, just depending on how hot it was during that segment of time. One of the things I didn't necessarily anticipate that really turned me into a believer was not only was I mowing less, but my lawn just looked phenomenal. The color is just on a different level when you use plant growth regulator. I was already feeding my lawn with the liquid program, which I'm going to actually show you today, but I really love the fact that the plant growth regulator was able to be adapted to that liquid program, meaning I did not have to add an extra application of the plant growth regulator, and I could just add it to my routine, which would save me a lot of time, which I absolutely loved. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to use today. But before we do that, you know, we got to get in a mow. Now, with that being said, the mow you're looking at isn't from today. It was actually from last night. I wanted to get the lawn ready, so that way today I'll be able to spray. And with that, let's get on to last night's mow. All right, so I just wanted to point one thing out as I'm mowing here. You guys may have noticed this on some of my shots. There is a huge scalp line running across the actual lawn here. This spot is a low point in my lawn that actually carries all the way through to this side over here. This is where sometimes by knowing your lawn, knowing where your high spots and low spots are, you can avoid some of these scout marks. However, the only way to truly fix it is I'll have to eventually do a lawn leveling. Whew, it's a hot day. That's what I call an afternoon mow. But let's go ahead and take a look here. Now, stripe action is gonna be a little bit harder to tell. The sun's almost going down, but let me go ahead and turn it around and give you guys a better look. All right, so I know the stripe action is really not coming through that great right now. I mean, you can see it a little bit, but it's just because the sun is now fully down. But I gotta tell you though, the color with no sun is looking really good. Cannot complain about the way the lawn has come out with this evening mow. All right, so this will be throwing down on the lawn today. I'm gonna be throwing down Turfplex's 22-3 formulation, Nutrisolve, and also my plant growth regulator. The rate I'm gonna go with for each of the Nutrisolve and the Turfplex is 6 ounces per gallon, which will cover 1,000 square feet. I'm gonna go ahead and fill up my backpack sprayer with 24 ounces of each of these, and that will cover 4,000 square feet. So what I'll also be applying for the first time on my lawn for this season is plant growth regulator. So the plant growth regulator I'm gonna go with is made by Atticus. This uses the same active ingredient as Primo Maxx. Now the rate I'm gonna go with is 1/4 ounce per 1,000 square feet or gallon of water. And in this particular case, I'm going to be loading 1 ounce into my 4-gallon backpack sprayer, which will cover 4,000 square feet. So with that, let's go ahead and mix it up. All right, so one of the things I always like to do, I like to fill up my backpack sprayer about halfway with water before I go ahead and add my chemicals. All right, so what I really like about this container is it does have a little measuring built into the actual container itself. So as you guys can see there, that is 1/2 ounce. I've already poured 1/2 ounce in. This will be the other 1/2 ounce, which will get me to the 1 ounce for 4 gallons. All right, so all I'm doing is just going ahead and suspending the mix with the 2 gallons of water. After I go ahead and just give this a quick stir, I'm going to add the remaining 2 gallons of water, and then I'll do one more mix. All right, so one of the things I just want to mention before I forget is I am using Teejet's foliar tip. This is definitely the spray tip you want to use anytime you are applying anything to the grass that requires a foliar application. One of the things I also like to do is I like to go ahead and spray back the chemical into the backpack sprayer before I go ahead and get started. And the purpose of that is to ensure that what comes out of my nozzle from the very first spray is going to have the chemical at full concentration. So the one thing I just wanted to add, whenever you're using a backpack sprayer, it has to be calibrated. What does that mean? That basically means you know how much liquid is coming out over a given time. So you're able to then be able to walk at the right pace to be able to cover 1,000 square feet. If you don't do that, you're not going to be applying your chemicals at the correct rates. You're either going to be walking too fast or you're going to be walking too slow. So once you have your backpack calibrated, and there's a lot of videos you can look at on YouTube to be able to calibrate your backpack sprayer, because each backpack sprayer is going to be a little bit different, at least then you're able to figure out what your walking pace needs to be, so that way you'll cover the right amount of square footage whenever you're applying these applications. That way, whenever you're walking at the right rate, so that way you're putting down the right amount of product to get the best result. All right, so let me just jump in here for a minute because I wanted to kind of tell you guys how I actually map out my lawn so I know where I need to refill my backpack sprayer. So I'm going to kind of turn the camera around and give you guys a better view here. So I'm going to kind of just put my finger here, and if you guys look here, there's a soccer net. And if you kind of follow this stripe right here, from that point over is 3,000 square feet, meaning from here over is 4,000 square feet. So what I like to do, and just works for my application, is I go ahead and fill up my backpack sprayer with 4 gallons. This point right here, when I get to 3,000 square feet, I go ahead and stop. It's a point for me to kind of just check, make sure my calibration is right, because I should have 1 gallon of fluid left in my backpack sprayer, which today I did. So at that point, what I go ahead and do is I fill up my backpack sprayer with 3 more gallons of the total solution. From this point right here again, and kind of going this way, is when I'll use up another 4 gallons of solution. So the reason why I choose to do it that way, rather than run 4,000 square feet here and then refill only 3 left, is because if I come over to this part of the lawn, as you guys see here, I have some trouble areas. And with those trouble areas, there's absolutely 0 reason to apply plant growth regulator, because you do not have to apply it to dirt. It won't do anything. So what I like to do is, and just in case if I run out of solution or if I'm walking a little bit too slow, I'm still going to have enough solution to be able to cover all of this here. That's why I choose to stop at this 3,000 mark point, because of the fact that I know I'm going to have to refill my backpack sprayer. And I figure, you know what, let me go ahead and have the maximum amount of solution when I'm spraying the best parts of my lawn. Hope that makes sense. Get all of the spraying out on video, but again, you do not want to water in this product. You want it to be able to absorb through the foliar. With that being said, you do not need to add any type of surfactant. That's sometimes a question that comes up, and you do not want to do that. All right, so you know, the Nutrisolve and the Turfplex, actually found through Ron Henry. I really love both those products. The first product I tried was actually the Turfplex, because I was really looking for a liquid supplement that I could use every month in between the granular feedings. Nutrisolve came a little bit later for me. I wasn't using that necessarily right at the get-go. But the reason why I use Nutrisolve in combination with Turfplex is because Nutrisolve provides a lot of the micronutrients that your lawn needs. Now the macronutrients, which is going to be your nitrogen, your phosphorus, and your potassium, all of which are important, you know, are really going to come from your fertilizers, whether it be granular or liquid. However, a lot of your micronutrients are difficult to find in most fertilizer, and that's where the Nutrisolve, in addition to giving you just a little bit extra punch of iron, is really going to help set apart your lawn and really kind of bring it to that next level. So whenever I've combined both those things, and then I've combined it with the plant growth regulator, it is just a winning formula, and has really worked out well for me, you know, every single year. And that's why I'll continue to use that as I've shown you guys in this video today. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's always fun being able to put these things together for you. Whether you're an enthusiast and you already know about these things, I want to thank you for your support. If you're new to the lawn community, I hope this maybe pushes you one step further to trying out plant growth regulator, because I absolutely am sure you will not regret it. Just make sure you follow those label rates and make sure your backpack sprayer is calibrated, and you'll have a phenomenal result. So with that, as always, be excellent and party on.